Welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining our webinar. I just wanted everybody to know that all participants are in silent mode. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them out in the chat. Kate and I will be monitoring the chat box as well as our Twitter live feed. So you are welcome to put any questions that you have in either the chat box or in the Twitter feed, and we'll be happy to take those questions as they come along.
Yeah. Thank you, Zia. And for the introduction parts, Zia, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself before I do?
Sure, I can start off. So guys, my name is Zia. I work for the DevMasters. A little bit of background about me is I am from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I lived in Vancouver for many years, and I worked at Bell Canada as a cloud specialist. My role was actually to take on-prem solutions or help companies move on-prem solutions from on-prem to public cloud. And I did that for many years. But I just got a little bit bored of that, so I decided to get into the exciting field of data science, and have been doing that, and moved to California, and have been working with DevMasters doing that for a couple of years now.
Cool. So a little bit about me. Again, I'm Kate. I'm also a data scientist with DevMasters. I specialized in probability and statistics in college, and I realized that while I was getting my degree, I really liked data, and there was no other way that I would be able to function if I didn't have a job in data. So eventually somebody told me about data science, and the rest is history, basically. I found myself knee deep in data science, and I couldn't get out. So yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So, how do you enjoy doing data science, Kate? Do you like it, and is that something that's a passion for you?
Yeah, I love data science. I think it's a new way of doing data analytics. Before we can just ask how and why, but we were never able to answer things like what happens next, or how can you make it so that something else happens instead. So it's a nice way of getting more information out of your data than ever before. And yep.
That's very exciting. Yeah, so it's exciting times for data science and data science people who are in that industry. Awesome, good stuff.
Yeah. So for today's webinar, we have which was 5 minutes introductions, and then we're going to move on to what is data science and what are the applications of data science, where we'll tell you kind of what is expected of a data scientist, where can it be applied, what are some industries that need data science, and then we'll then open it up for the first round of Q&A, where you'll be able to type your questions into the chat box and be able to tell us what you need help on. And then we'll move on to the case study, and the case study will consist of basically a little bit of code in order for you to see what data science can do, what happens in a data science project. And then afterwards, we'll show you how you can actually learn to become a data scientist with the DevMasters. And then there will be a lot of questions after that, so that's why we will end the webinar with Q&A. And after the Q&A and after you sit through the entire webinar, we actually have a $500 coupon for those who actually attend the full webinar. And then there's actually a special offer only for webinar attendees that sign up early for the classes.
All right, so there is a $500 coupon as well as a special offer. Very cool at the end of the seminar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the when we go to different conferences, Kate, and when we are like when we're talking to people, one of the questions that comes up very often is how do you become a data scientist, or more importantly, what is required for, like, what kind of skills or what is required to be a data scientist? So are we going to talk about those?
Yeah, it's actually very straightforward. Here
Okay.
you see like a chart that says what a data scientist is. And yeah, and you can see here that includes four parts. You need to know computer programming, starting from the top. You need to know statistics. You need to have communication skills, and most importantly, you need to have a domain expertise. So this is kind of like what we answer, and when people ask us, how do you become a data scientist at conferences?
So
So
what you're saying is that somebody who has kind of these skills can call himself a data scientist. He should be able to at least do some level of programming so that he can use those computer tools like Python and R and SPSS or SAS or SAP and work on those. And you are saying that he does have to have some background in statistics as well as understanding of the domain, and then be
mhm.
able to tell a story about the data that whatever he's finding. So these kind of are the core skills for a data scientist.
Right, yeah, this is what a data scientist should encompass.
Okay,
These are, yeah.
very
And
cool,
then
very cool. So how, like then typically, where does the value in data science come in? How what's the value stack look like for data science?
that's a very interesting question, and we actually have a diagram that actually describes this. It's right here on your screen. It's a data science pyramid where we start from the bottom, where we actually, as soon as your data comes in, you collect it, you display it, and then you clean it, you aggregate it, you visualize it, you start creating some of your questions that you can answer with this data. And then you write up reports on what you find first, like in exploring it and then sharing it and creating links to other sources of data that you've seen before. And then in those three parts, that's basically what a data analyst does. And then a data scientist actually moves farther up the pyramid and starts doing predictions, recommendations, make inferences on the data, start to understand the data. And then at the very top is actually where the real value comes in. We actually then, based on those predictions and recommendations, we actually deliver a recommendation to those who wanted us to analyze the data in the first place. Tell them, okay, this is what your data is saying, and this is what is predicted or classified to happen.
Okay, so this is
So,
what it means when you were talking about that the initial three layers basically is where you find out what happened and why did that happen. So you're basically looking in the historic data and trying to figure out what happened and why did it happen. And then in the top two layers, you are looking at what will happen next, and then how can we make it happen. So the actionable insights. Oh, very cool. So this is how the world of data science works.
yeah, it's actually very awesome. And then, in terms of that, though, there's only a certain amount of industries that actually benefit from this. Um, well, actually, there are a lot of industries that will benefit from data science. So there are some industries that actually actively have data science teams. So any industry that actually has data will be able to benefit from data science also. So, yeah, do you have any particular companies or industries on this list that you have experience with?
Sure, yeah, at Einstein Assembly, we do work with a few companies, but I really liked what you said, Kate, that any industry can use data science if they have data, and majority of the industries now have data because companies now collect data and keep data, and because the storage cost has gone down substantially, and the compute power is really fast. Companies keep data and are able to analyze it and make use out of it. So majority of these industries, all of them have lots of data, and they can work on work to get value out of that data. In terms of us working, the DevMasters actually has a sister company called Einstein Assembly, and I work as a data scientist, as a consultant, a data science consultant at Einstein Assembly as well. And a couple of projects that we do there are recommendation systems. So we are building a recommendation platform for e-commerce websites. So a recommendation system, I believe most of you would know, but it's something like when you watch a Netflix movie, Netflix will recommend you different movies based on what movie you typed, or what persona or what personality you have, or your user profile. So that's a recommendation system, and we are working on building a recommendation system for an e-commerce platform that has about 400, 500 sites on them. So that's one of the domains that I work in a little bit. I also work in something called sentiment analysis using unstructured data, using the natural language processing. So that's another field that we work with, trying to understand what people are saying on social media, or Instagram photos, or Snapchat, and things like that. Trying to understand the sentiment of that post or the photo or whatever you are looking at. So that's another domain that we work in, and there's a lot of potential in those domains because it looks at the unstructured piece, which is the highest growing piece in data. If you look at the growth of data, unstructured is where the majority of the growth is happening.
Okay. Yeah, that's very insightful. Thank you, Zia. There's other people on the team also with us, with me and Zia. There's Arshad Khan, who's also a data scientist. He has a great background with a lot of Fortune 500 companies. There's Jay Mayers, and also a data scientist with us. He does most of his data science with his app developments. Dear City, who's also one of our data scientists, he is actually in the middle of his PhD right now, so there's a lot going on for him right now. And then there's Al Fuller, who's our director of recruiting, who helps either funnel resumes out to some of our partner companies, or helps find recruiting for our own companies. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Alan is instrumental, guys. If you are looking to make a career switch, or if you are interested in, if you're a fresh graduate and you're trying to find out that if data, like looking for your first job, Alan is instrumental in that, and he can help you make that first connection to those companies. So he's a good resource to know for sure.
All right, Kate, so what's the case study for today? What are we going to talk about?
Today, we're actually going to talk about video game sales.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So are we going to play any also?
Oh, I wish. I really do wish. Yeah, this is the other spectrum of the gaming industry. Instead of actually developing the games, listen, try and predict how well your game should be going, or at least if you were to do market research on the gaming industry, when will, like, say, the sales of the next Nintendo game, how much is predicted to be in its global sales?
All right, so you're going to base some sales numbers for these games or predicts those sales numbers. All right, very cool. So how are you going to approach this problem?
Well, like any data science problem, you start off by actually importing the data seeing the data, and then analyzing what kind of variables you have in the data for you to work with. So we always like to import pandas, which is actually one of the best data science data frame manipulation packages out there for Python. There's also NumPy, which actually helps us with some easy calculations. And then there's the data right there where you have columns that tell you the rank of the video game in terms of sales, the name of the video game, the platform that it was released by, the year that it was released, the genre, who published it, and the North American, European, Japan, and other sales, as well as the global sale of the game also.
Very cool. So we have regional sales that add up to the global sales, and we have the publisher, the genre, the year, and the platform there. Very cool. So how are you going to approach this problem? How are you going to try and figure out what the sales would be for a new game that's published published on a specific platform by a publisher?
We'll see. We'll see.
All
Let's walk our way through the data first.
Okay.
Because just looking at the info is not enough sometimes. So
Sure.
let's actually visualize our data. Here's an example of, say, a graph that you can make with using Seaborn. Actually, the code is not here, but this is created by Seaborn of the amount of games that were published in a certain year, and it seems like the graph is very it's fighting between 2008 and 2009 as the year that most games were published on. And on top of that, on the side, you can see that these are the top 10 publishers of games throughout the entire data set. So
Okay, so probably Electronic Arts has published 1,351 games, and the ranking goes. So these are the top 10 publishers for you. And the graph just shows you that which year, how many games came out. So 2008 and 2009, you're saying are the years that majority of the games came out. Very cool. Or the most games came out. Very cool. Very cool.
yeah, so this is kind of like the certain parts where a data analyst would start using their skills. And then the next couple of slides will actually differentiate between the data analyst and the data scientist.
Yeah, so this is basically where you are looking at the historic data and trying to figure out what happened and why did it happen, kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so let's see what we can predict then.
Okay.
One of the biggest chunks of a data science project is actually cleaning the data and prepping the data. So here we kind of just change some of the text in the text data and
Into numeric numbers. I using a couple of for loops there. Okay,
yeah.
very cool. So does this make your data good enough to be fed to a algorithm?
Yeah, to a certain point, but we have to realize that prepping the data and cleaning the data is actually a majority of data science projects, as I mentioned before. So this seems to be like a very clean and quick way of cleaning the data, but if time permits, sometimes the data will actually give you more information if you put in the time to actually analyze it further and actually clean it further. If anything, create more features if you wanted to. So this is just a small, simple visual of a way that you can approximately clean the data. Yeah, just to get it ready for algorithms.
Sure.
So after you're satisfied with it, you actually move on to modeling, where the first step is actually specifying what is your independent variables, your x variables, as well as your dependent variable y, the actual variable that you want to calculate. In this case, we want to predict global sales, and we're going to do that by using the genre of the game, the platform of the game, the publisher of the game, and what year the game is approximately published in.
All right, and then you are, I see that you split the data into train test with using the test size as 40%, and you're using Lasso, which is a advanced or a newer regression technique to actually predict the, I guess, the global sales for that variable, and then you're measuring the RMSE value there at the in the last step. And RMSE seems out to be pretty good.
Yeah. So in the end, the goal of most data science projects is not to spit out a score. It's actually to spit out answer the business question. So in this case, we came pretty close with just our model to start predicting the global sales given these 4 independent variables at the top, these 4 factors. And in all seriousness, the mean squared error could be a little bit lower, but it depends more on what you do with the data, how you clean it, what other variables you put in there. So this data science case study can be expanded further, but yeah, in the case of for this webinar, it's as simple as we can go, just to show you how a data science project can go.
Okay, very cool. So so this is how you can actually build a model. You can take a data set from ground zero. So you import the data set into your code, then you do your data prep, which, as Kate said, is about 70%, 82% of the work is to get your data right. And once you have the data, then you can take the next step and actually do the modeling and predict the sales for that game manufacturer. All right. So what's the next step, Kate, now?
Well,
oh, so we are going to go to some Q&A now. I guess if people have any questions.
It's okay. I'll cut that part out. So, yeah. So now that you've seen approximately what a data science project is, the steps that follow through with data science projects, you don't just learn on your own. So when we go out to conferences, sometimes people end up asking us, how do I learn how to become a data scientist? Where do I learn to start practicing data science? So Zia, can you tell us a little bit about what their options are?
Yeah. So typically, that's the question that you get after that. What do you need to become a data scientist? And then how do I get there? How do I become one?
Yeah. So
I believe that there are many options, Kate, that people can take. There are some online training that a lot of people start with, and they start with some kind of online courses. There are training there are many universities and colleges that provide excellent education. One of the options that people can take is the course that our company offers, because we believe that that the practical aspect or the hands-on aspect of data science is very important, and our course is a hands-on course focused on projects. So we call this program Mastering Applied Data Science, and it's a 12-week course designed for professionals, and it's run on the weekend. So it's run on Saturday and Sunday, so that people who are either working or have a job or like a consultant, or are going to school and want to do this, they can still do it on the weekends for about 3 months, and they can become a data scientist, or at least get on the path of becoming a data scientist. The course is kind of broken down into two portions. The first 6 weeks are the review piece that you see here. It's called the Data Science Applied Labs. And the second piece, the second 6 weeks are called the project-based learning side of it. For those people who are new to coding, or are new to, or haven't done statistics before, taken stats courses before, we do have something that we call it as pre-work. So pre-work is for people who are new to coding, and we just want to make sure that they're comfortable with coding. So we actually have some one-on-one sessions with them, so that we can get them trained and actually to a point where they can actually code easily and they're comfortable with coding piece of it. Also, if they are new to stats, we actually give them a review of stats also. Then the course starts, which is the Applied Labs. Now, Applied Labs is a concept that we believe very greatly in. We believe that our classrooms have to be designed in a way that we have people from diverse backgrounds in those classrooms, and that's what we call as Applied Labs, because when we give a problem, or when we are discussing a problem in the class, if everybody is a software engineer there, they will look at the problem from the same angle. However, if you have a software engineer in the class, a statistician in the class, somebody from a business domain, or from the business side of it, and somebody from actually the industry, you discuss a problem, you will hear their own viewpoint, their own perspective of the problem, and everybody would look at it at a little bit of a different way. And in that case, you create a very healthy discussion in the classroom, and that is why we try to create or have the classrooms very diversified, and that's the concept, or that's the thought behind Applied Labs, is that we would have people from diverse backgrounds in the class, so that there is a healthy discussion. And this Data Science Applied Labs portion runs for about 6 weeks on Saturday, Sundays, and we start from introduction to Python and go to deep learning. And then once you graduate, or once you finish those 6 weeks, then you enter the project-based learning piece, where the project-based learning is kind of you do real-time projects. You do real-world projects. So you take a data set, you are given a business question, and you tackle that business question, and you try to answer that business question. Because in data science, everything has to answer a business question, because that's where the value comes in. So we are always addressing a business question, and in the project-based learning piece, you do 3 projects based on that. That also helps people who are new to the field build a portfolio, so that when they go for a contracting position, or if they go for a job, or if they go for a consulting position, they can say that they have built a recommendation system, they have done sentiment analysis, or they have done deep learning, and they can showcase those portfolio also. This is one of the options that we offer to people who are interested in becoming a data scientist, or at least getting on that path. Do we have so this is the course, guys, that we run for 3 months. Kate, do we have the slide for the one that we run for 7 days?
Yeah, it's actually the next slide.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so for those who decide they want to speed up the process of learning data science, we have Data Science for Professionals, which actually runs on the weekdays. It goes from Sunday all the way to Saturday, and it's basically mastering applied data science. Every single day of the program for the 7 days is actually 2 days of mastering applied data science. So you learn a whole 2 topics with their subtopics in each day. And right after you learn your concepts and such, we'll actually throw in projects afterwards, so you can apply what you learned, so you'll be able to stick better. And then after the entire program, we actually have 2 Kaggle projects that you can we'll be able to mentor you with, and then well, some people say that well, this is kind of like their only option because they don't want to do a whole 3 months, but they feel like the 7 days is too fast for them. We actually have a special type of offering that's different from other programs. Something called lifetime membership, where those who want to come back, they can definitely come back and retake the course again. And then this is, and then if you're out of state and you want to come in and take this program, we actually have accommodation options, but you actually have to contact us about that if you're interested. And yeah.
Okay, so the lifetime membership option seems very interesting. So if you take the course once, there is no additional charge, and I can come back and take that course again. And this is true for the 3 months also as well, right, Kate?
Yeah, it is true. The lifetime membership applies to all of our programs. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So if somebody takes the course and for some reason misses a lecture or misses a day or wants to repeat, come back, there is no additional charge, and they can come back and take the course again.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good, very good. And can you share a little bit about what kind of topics are we going to cover on that, Kate?
Yeah. So like I said, each day is actually kind of 2 topics that the Saturday, Sunday class will actually compose of. So like day 1, we'll introduce you to data science, and then we'll start exploring some data using some techniques. And then day 2, we move on to data mining, utilizing NumPy and Pandas again, and then a short introduction on time series. Day 3 is where most people start to realize that data science is different from data analytics, because you start to learn some machine learning concepts. And then after we get the ball rolling, we actually move on to advanced machine learning concepts like classification and recommendation systems and such. And then day 4 is where most people like a breather. So we actually have what we call like a project day or a hack day, where you have one project on estimation and then another project on classification. So you'll be able to review the concepts that you've been learning the last 3 days, and then be able to apply it and kind of see where your strengths and weaknesses are, and then be able to focus on that. And then after the project day, we move on to day 5 and day 6, which actually composes of what is even differentiates data scientists from each other further. So each topic within these 2 days is actually a specialization all on their own. Some data scientists specialize in recommendation systems. Sometimes they specialize in natural language processing. Sometimes they work mostly with big data, and they teach big data. And then there are some data scientists that actually move into the field of artificial intelligence also. So there's computer vision, that includes a major project, and then deep learning. So those day 5 and 6 are what differentiate you from other data scientists also, because it's kind of like where you pick your specialization also. And then day 7, which is the last day, is where you decide whichever topic you were most interested in. So your first project, you can either do NLP or recommendation, or your second project, where you can do computer vision or deep learning. So it's a lot of projects, and it's a lot of concepts all at once. So that's why we have that lifetime membership option, where you can totally come back and repeat basically the whole course again. So the second time around is always better than the first, as we've experienced before. So
yeah, I can totally see that this is a course which is fast-paced, and you have to be like on top of it. You should have some background. A little bit of background would always help out. But this is a fast-paced course. But the thing is that because of that option of that you can take it again, it gives you a little bit of a comfort, if I can say, if that's the right word, so that you can come back and take the course if you, for example, for some reason didn't get the deep learning piece done on the first attempt. You can come back and take that day or repeat the course and get that done. So that's great. And Kate, what cities are we offering this 7-day course out of presently?
Right now we have classes available in Irvine and Santa Monica, so we'll definitely be able to give you more information on when it starts. You have to contact us about it, and then we're open to other cities too, but right now it's Irvine and Santa Monica. Yeah.
All right. So what I got was that we are open to going to other cities. So if there is people in a different city, maybe if they are in Phoenix, Arizona, and they are interested, we can actually they can reach out to us, and we can let them know when we are planning to go there and maybe take the course there.
Yeah.
All right, that's very cool. Okay, perfect.
So this question actually gets asked a lot. Do we have any financing options?
Yes, we certainly do. We have for financing options like flexible payment terms. So you can we help you with the breaking down the payments into a couple of payments, maybe 3 payments. We do offer scholarships. We offer scholarships to veterans, to unemployed, as well as students. We also offer something which is called a PhD scholarship. So if you already have a PhD, we do have some special scholarships for people who are already PhDs, because they are actually a domain expert for sure, and data science is a good fit for them. So we offer that as an incentive for those people to actually acknowledge their accomplishment of a PhD. So there's a PhD scholarship as well available. And then if you are a corporation and if you're looking to maybe do a group of students, we do have group discounts available for students. So anybody can avail any of these options. You just have to mention them or reach out to us when you're ready to take the course.
Yeah. In that case, there's actually some testimonials we've had of some students going through our courses. We've had actually a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds actually talk about how well their experience was with us. We have people from biostatistics, logistics, retail, finance, some that are just software developers and are moving into the field of data science. So it doesn't matter what background you come from, data science is open for you. So,
yeah, and I believe, Kate, that we have it on our website also, the testimonial page. So if any of these participants are interested in listening to what some of the previous students have to say, they can go to our website and check those testimonials out as well, right?
yeah, definitely. Our testimonials are available on our website at thedevmasters.com.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah. And then again, here are some pictures of students in our classrooms and some of our events. So you'll actually be able to see the people that actually want to learn data science. So, yeah.
Yeah, we did different size of groups, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So, what's the next step, yeah?
All right. So guys, for you, the next step. What's the next step? So the next step that you can do is that for those of you who are in the LA, Orange County area, we have a location in Santa Monica as well as in Irvine, and we go to a couple of other cities as well, in terms of Long Beach, Fullerton, Riverside. So if you are in the Southern California area, you are welcome to come and attend a advanced session. That's an in-person session. You can reach out to us and we'll be happy to send you an invite for that. There are advanced sessions available that you can attend that will give you a little bit more insight into data science. Those sessions are actually hands-on, so you actually do some coding as well. So if you are interested in the field and if you are exploring and if you want to see what data science can do and what kind of options are available, at least with us, you are welcome to come to those advanced sessions. So please do reach out to us. For those people who just have a general question or want to find out a little bit or looking for some kind of a mentorship, you are welcome to reach out to the team members that you saw earlier, and we will be happy to have a chat with you. We can do a Skype call, or if you are local, we can do a face-to-face meeting or a phone call, and we will be happy to help you out or answer any questions that you might have. So the second option that you have is that you can book a meeting with one of our team members and maybe discuss whatever your thoughts are on that. Now, if you are an entrepreneur, there's a third option for you. If you have a project or a idea that you want to explore and would like to maybe get a POC done, we will be very glad to talk to you and find out how we can work together to actually get your POC off the ground. So we are happy to talk to people or entrepreneurs who have an idea or a thought and would like to get started on that. So these are the three options that you have that you can take as a next step. But if nothing else, guys, keep learning. Because you are thinking it's really exciting times and you're in data science and you're thinking or at least considering a great career in data science, and these are great exciting times for anybody who's in the field of data science. So I would like to thank everybody who attended the webinar for joining us today. Hopefully the information was helpful. Guys, this is an exciting time. Data science has lots of opportunities in the field. If you just go to Glassdoor or Indeed and search open positions in data science, you will find out that there are tons and tons of opportunities available in America as well as in the world, where you can start your career and build a great career based on those. So please keep learning. If you have, again, as a kid said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But thanks again for joining, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.